And joining me now is the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon. And Ambassador, I want to get your reaction to reports that the U.S. strikes did not destroy Iran's nuclear sites and likely only set back the country's nuclear program by months. Does Israel share that assessment, or is the U.S. intel community's assessment incorrect?
Gabe, I think it's still very early to jump into conclusions. We have to wait for the assessments. I can tell you one thing for sure. If you look where Iran was 12 days ago and where they are today, you understand that, both Israel and the U.S. were able to degrade their capabilities, push them back decades. And if we had an imminent threat, it doesn't exist anymore. Today, we can continue to look very carefully what's happening in Iran. We have to be very careful about their intentions, but they are not in a position of assembling a bomb in a matter of days.
Well, you said it's too early to jump to final assessments or conclusions, but President Trump is already saying that the program was totally obliterated.
Well, I'm sure that the U.S. have their own intelligence. I think it will take some more time to look at the results. But, one thing is for sure, that Iran is not a threat today to Israel, to the Middle East, to the stability of the world order. But like I said earlier, we have to still pay attention because, they have the knowledge. And if they will have the desire, I'm not sure they still have the desire, but if they will continue to invest billions on nuclear programs, they can rebuild those capabilities. So we have to pay attention to not to what they say, to what they do.
And Ambassador, do you have evidence that Iran didn't move their enriched uranium stockpiles before the strikes?
Well, we cannot share all the information. Prime Minister Netanyahu said a few days ago that we have some knowledge about the whereabouts of the enriched uranium. And I can tell you that not only us, many countries watch very carefully what's happening in Iran today.
Well, I know you can't get into some operational details, of course, but can you say with certainty where Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is currently located?
No, I cannot go into those details. But today we have in the Security Council a debate about Iran, about the nuclear program, the JCPOA, and you saw the way they were able to lie. So even now, even if they will say something, I will recommend my colleagues here at the UN not to believe them.
Well, as we mentioned, Ambassador, President Trump told my colleague yesterday that the ceasefire is, quote, going to go forever. So I ask you, is Israel committed to abiding by the ceasefire, and will it permanently halt all of its military operations against Iran if Iran does the same thing?
Gabe, Israel is a peaceful nation. We have no conflict or dispute with Iran. We have no border with them. And one should ask himself why we had a war with them. It's all about their intentions. If they will give up their intention to destroy Israel, to develop weapons of mass destruction that can threaten us, we have nothing against them. So it's up to them to decide where they're heading. I hope they will choose a peaceful manner. And I'm optimistic, maybe not about Iran, but about other countries that will join the Abraham Accords very soon.
And Ambassador, if an Iranian proxy group struck Israel, would you consider that a violation of the ceasefire, and would Israel strike back?
We will defend ourselves, period. We've proved it already in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Yemen, and we'll continue to do that. Whoever thinks that we are weak is mistaken. We were caught by surprise on October 7th. We paid a heavy price, but I think we were able to rebuild our capabilities. And today in the Middle East, I think it's very clear that you don't want to mess with Israel.
Ambassador, I want to play something that Iran's foreign minister told my colleague Andrew Mitchell last week before the U.S. struck Iran's nuclear sites. Let's listen.
Suppose they destroy one facility or two. We can rebuild them because the knowledge is there. The technology is there. We have achieved that ourselves. And the technology cannot be reversed, cannot be destroyed by bombs.
Even a 30,000-pound bunker buster bomb that the U.S. has, several of them,
no,
could be on a B-2 bomber?
No, they can destroy a facility altogether. Okay, but the knowledge is there. The technology is there.
Ambassador, what's your response to that? Can you fully dismantle Iran's nuclear program with just military strikes? Will you be able to wipe out that knowledge, as the foreign minister said?
Gabe, I happen to agree with the Iranian Minister of Foreign Affairs. It's true, if you have the desire and the knowledge and you invest the money, you can acquire nuclear capability. But you should add one more point that, Israel and the US will not allow it. So I don't think that the path which will be good for the Iranian people to go back to where they were. But if they will do that, they will find us, they will find the US and other countries standing in the way of achieving a nuclear capability.
So if the current ceasefire holds, Ambassador, will Israel welcome the resumption of nuclear talks between the US and Iran?
I believe in diplomacy. We had to act because diplomacy failed. Iran was able to lie for so many years, and that's why we had to use the military force. We always prefer diplomacy, and I hope that the international community will be smart enough and strong enough to approach Iran in a different way with more suspicions and to make sure that if you put actually some kind of a mechanism, you can enforce it. I listened very carefully to the report from the IEA. Today they are blind. They have no knowledge about what's happening in Iran. It will have to change.
So you mentioned you support diplomacy, Ambassador. That's a yes. You would welcome the resumption of talks between the U.S. and Iran.
So I said if there will be a mechanism that will prevent Iran from moving forward with their ambitions, that will be able to supervise what's happening there, that's something that we will always welcome.
Ambassador Danny Danon, we really appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.